You woke up this morning feeling strong, like genuinely okay. You thought, I've got this, I'm over him. And then by 2 p.m., you were crying in your car because a song came on the radio. If you're wondering why healing from the wrong person feels like the world's most exhausting roller coaster, we need to talk. Today, we're breaking down the 5 stages of getting over Mr. Wrong. And I'm not talking about getting over a great guy where timing just didn't work out. I'm talking about getting over the guy who criticized your appearance, who love-bombed you then disappeared for days, who made you feel crazy, who was emotionally unavailable, who promised forever then vanished. That guy. Because here's what nobody tells you. Getting over Mr. Wrong isn't a straight line from heartbroken to healed. It's denial at breakfast, anger at lunch, bargaining at dinner, and depression at 2 a.m., sometimes all in the same hour. And if you're bouncing between these stages thinking you're going backwards or doing it wrong, this video is for you. Here's what everyone's been telling you about healing from a breakup. Time heals all wounds, just give it time. You need to go through the stages of grief in order: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, then acceptance. If you're still sad after X months, you're not trying hard enough to move on. Once you reach acceptance, you're done, you're healed. You won't feel sad about it anymore. The conventional wisdom treats healing like a checklist. Like you start at stage 1, progress through each stage sequentially, and graduate to stage 5, where you're permanently healed and never think about them again. As if your heart operates like a project management timeline, as if grief respects linear progression, as if you can schedule your emotions like appointments. Okay, I'll do denial Monday through Wednesday, anger on Thursday, and maybe I'll pencil in acceptance for next month. But here's what I've learned coaching hundreds of women through breakups with Mr. Wrong. Healing is not linear. It's not even a circle. It's more like a drunk spiral where you touch acceptance for 5 minutes and then wake up the next day in bargaining again. You will experience all 5 stages of grief: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance, but not in that order. And not just once. You'll cycle through them. Sometimes multiple times a day. Sometimes you'll think you've reached acceptance and then 6 weeks later, you're back in anger after seeing his Instagram story. And that doesn't mean you're broken. That doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. That doesn't mean you're regressing. It means you're human. And you're grieving someone who was never really who you thought they were in the first place. Which is why getting over Mr. Wrong is different, and often harder than getting over Mr. Right person wrong time. In this video, I'm walking you through what each stage actually looks like in real life, not in theory. We're covering why Mr. Wrong hurts more than you think, and why that's okay. Denial and anger, the stages that make you feel crazy. Bargaining, the most dangerous stage that keeps you stuck. Depression, when you can't get out of bed and everyone's tired of hearing about it. Acceptance, and why you'll lose it and find it again multiple times. How to actually move through these stages without getting trapped. And I'm going to tell you something revolutionary. The goal isn't to rush through the stages. The goal is to stop fighting them. With multiple versions of Mr. Wrong. And because I've coached hundreds of women who text me saying, "Claire, I thought I was over him, but I cried for 3 hours yesterday. Am I back at square one?" No, honey, you're not back at square one. You're in the messy middle of grief, and that's exactly where you're supposed to be. Author and spiritual teacher Byron Katie says, "When we argue with reality, we suffer, but only 100% of the time." And healing from Mr. Wrong, it's learning to stop arguing with the reality that you're sad, that you're angry, that you miss someone who hurt you, that some days are hard and some days are okay. So if you're currently beating yourself up for not being over it yet, or going backwards, or still having feelings for someone who was wrong for you, stop, take a breath, and let me show you what's actually happening in your beautiful, grieving, healing heart. Let's start with why Mr. Wrong hurts so much in the first place. Okay, before we dive into the stages, we need to address something. People are going to minimize your pain. They're going to say things like, "But he treated you badly, you should be relieved it's over. Why are you so upset? He was clearly wrong for you. You dodged a bullet, you should be celebrating. He wasn't even that great. Why are you still crying over him?" And every single one of those statements makes you feel worse, because you know they're right. On paper, logically, you know he was wrong for you. But your heart doesn't give a shit about logic. Here's why getting over Mr. Wrong is so particularly brutal. You're not just grieving the person, you're grieving who you thought they were. When you lose Mr. Right person wrong time, you grieve an actual relationship that existed. It was real, it was good, it just didn't work out. But when you lose Mr. Wrong, you grieve the version of him that existed in the beginning, before you saw who he really was, the potential of who you hoped he could become, the fantasy you built of what the relationship would be, the person he pretended to be when he wanted something from you, the future you imagined before reality crushed it. You're grieving someone who never actually existed in the way you needed them to, and that is disorienting as hell. And here's the layer that makes it even worse: the shame. Because when you're getting over Mr. Right Person Wrong Time, people are sympathetic. Oh, that's so sad. He was a great guy, just bad timing. But when you're getting over Mr. Wrong, there's this undercurrent of judgment. Well, what did you expect? Everyone saw the red flags except you. You chose him, you knew what he was. Why are you surprised he hurt you? So now you're not just heartbroken, you're embarrassed. You're beating yourself up for being stupid enough to love someone who wasn't good for you. And shame on top of grief? That's a toxic combination that keeps you stuck way longer than grief alone would. Plus, here's what people don't understand. When we experience the loss of someone we love, our bodies go into panic mode. It doesn't matter if they were wrong for you. Your nervous system doesn't distinguish between good relationship that ended and toxic relationship that ended. All your body knows is, person I was attached to, gone. And your body responds as if someone died. Because to your attachment system, that's what happened. Loss is loss. You get Ron. That sick aching pain in your stomach. The physical longing for them to hold you. The obsessive checking of your phone hoping for an "I made a mistake" text. The literal physical withdrawal symptoms. Your body is in grief. Real, biological, chemical grief. So when people tell you to just get over it, or he wasn't worth it anyway, they're dismissing the very real physiological response your body is having to loss. Let me know, has anyone minimized your pain over Mr. Wrong with "but he was terrible, why are you sad"? Comment yes what they said. Example, yes, my mom said I should be grateful he left. Or, yes, my friend said I'm being dramatic. Or, yes, I tell myself this and it makes me feel worse. Let's validate that your pain is real regardless of whether he was right or wrong for you. So before we go any further, I need you to hear this. You are allowed to grieve someone who was wrong for you. You are allowed to miss someone who hurt you. You are allowed to cry over someone who clearly didn't deserve you. You are allowed to feel devastated about losing someone who was never really good for you in the first place. Your feelings don't have to make logical sense. They just have to be felt. And the stages you're about to go through, they're not a sign that you're weak or stupid or broken. They're a sign that you're human, and you loved someone, and now you're processing that loss, especially if that person was Mr. Wrong. Okay, now that we've established that your pain is valid, let's talk about what that pain actually looks like as it moves through you, starting with the stage that makes you feel like you're losing your mind. Stage 1. Denial. This is the stage where your brain just can't compute. You wake up in the morning, and for a blissful half-second, everything's normal. And then reality crashes back. Oh, right, we broke up. And even though you know it's over, part of your brain keeps acting like it's not. Denial shows up like this. You keep your phone on loud, just in case they text, even though they haven't reached out in 3 weeks. You still think about them in future tense. When we get back together, not if we ever. You can't throw away their stuff. Their toothbrush is still in your bathroom. Their hoodie is still on your chair. Because getting rid of it would make it too real. You check their social media constantly, half expecting to see a post about how they made a mistake and want you back. You replay the last conversation obsessively. But he said he loved me, so how can it really be over? You're in disbelief. You're waiting for them to come back to their senses. You're holding space for them to change their mind. Because accepting that it's really truly over means accepting that you have to actually start healing. And that's terrifying. And here's what denial feels like in your body. That sick aching pain in your stomach when you wake up. You know that feeling? Where for 1 second you're okay, and then the weight of "we're broken up" crashes on your chest and you physically feel nauseous. You're longing for him to hold you in his arms. You're hoping that when you check your phone there'll be an "I made a mistake" text. You're bargaining with the universe. Maybe if I just give it one more day. This is denial, and it's completely normal. Your brain is protecting you from the full reality of the loss by letting you process it in pieces. And then one day, you wake up furious. Welcome to stage 2, anger. This is the stage where you go from "I miss him" to "fuck him." And honestly, anger is a gift. Because anger has energy. Anger has power. Anger means you've stopped making excuses for him. You've stopped protecting him. You've stopped blaming yourself. Anger shows up like this. You're replaying all the shitty things he did that you minimized or justified at the time. Who does that? He love-bombed me then disappeared for days. That's manipulative. He made me feel crazy for having normal needs. That's gaslighting. You're ranting to your friends, and they're relieved because finally you see what they saw all along. You're rage texting your group chat at 11 p.m. with "can you believe he," followed by something you've been holding in for months. You might even draft angry texts you'll never send. Please don't send them. Just write them in your notes app. There's this fiery rage and heat in your body when you think about him. specifically when you remember how he initiated the "I want to move in together" talk just days before he bounced, or how he promised you forever and then changed his mind without warning, or how he said he loved you but never actually showed it through actions. Okay, anger check. What's the one thing your ex did that still makes you mad when you think about it? This is a safe space to vent. Comment the thing, how long ago it was. Example, said I was the one, then broke up via text 6 months ago. Or criticized my body, then wondered why I was upset 3 weeks ago. Or made me feel crazy for wanting consistency, still mad. Let it out. Anger is healing. Here's why anger is actually a good stage. Anger creates boundaries. When you're in denial, you're still hoping. When you're depressed, you're blaming yourself. But when you're angry, you're finally placing accountability where it belongs, on him. Anger says what he did was not okay. Anger says I deserved better than that. Anger says I'm not making excuses for his behavior anymore. Anger is the stage where you stop being the understanding, forgiving, accommodating partner who made endless allowances for his shit. And you start being the person who recognizes that was fucked up, and I didn't deserve it. So if you're in your anger stage right now, stay there for a while. Rage clean your apartment. Blast angry breakup songs. Tell your friends every single shitty thing he did. Write unsent letters listing every way he failed you. Let yourself be mad, because buried underneath that anger is self-respect trying to claw its way back to the surface. But here's the thing about denial and anger. You don't just experience them once and move on. Monday morning, denial. Checking your phone for his text. Monday afternoon, anger. Remembering he sucks. Monday night, back to denial. Maybe he'll reach out tomorrow. Tuesday, more anger. Actually, fuck him. Wednesday, denial again. But we had good times. And you might think, wait, I was angry yesterday. Why am I back to missing him today? Am I going backwards? No, you're cycling, and that's normal. The stages aren't a ladder you climb once. They're a washing machine you tumble through. And eventually, the cycles get further apart and less intense. But we're not there yet, because here's where it gets really dangerous. After you've cycled through denial and anger a few times, your brain introduces a new stage, the one that will keep you stuck longer than any other if you're not careful. Stage 3, bargaining. This is the stage where your brain becomes a defense attorney arguing a case it already lost. And it's the most dangerous stage because bargaining keeps you stuck in the past instead of moving toward the future. Bargaining sounds like this. If only I didn't make him come to my mom's birthday dinner instead of the game. If only I had kept my mouth shut about him being perpetually late. If only I had been less needy, more chill, more interesting, less demanding. If only I had looked better, cooked more, been more fun, complained less. Maybe if I reach out now and apologize for my part. Maybe if I give him space and then come back as a better version of myself. Maybe if I just change X, Y, and Z about myself, he'll realize I'm worth it. You're replaying every mistake you think you made that led him astray. You're taking responsibility for his choices. You're convinced that if you had just been different, the relationship would have worked. And that's a lie your brain is telling you to avoid the pain of accepting it's over. Let me give you real examples from my clients. One woman bargained. If only I hadn't gained 10 pounds, he wouldn't have lost attraction to me. Reality, he criticized her appearance because he's shallow and cruel, not because 10 pounds changed her worth. Another bargained. If only I hadn't pressured him about commitment, he wouldn't have left. Reality, he was never going to commit. Asking for what you need didn't cause his unavailability, it revealed it. Another. If only I had been cooler about him staying out late with friends. Reality, having boundaries about respect and communication isn't being uncool, it's being an adult in a relationship. See the pattern. Bargaining makes you responsible for fixing a relationship that he broke, or was never willing to fully invest in. And here's why bargaining is so seductive. It gives you a false sense of control. Because if it was your fault, then you can fix it. If you just change yourself enough, you can get him back. If you just become the perfect version of you, he'll realize what he lost. Bargaining feels less helpless than accepting. He wasn't the right person for me, and there's nothing I could have done to change that. Because acceptance means you have to grieve. You have to let go. You have to acknowledge you're not in control. But bargaining lets you stay in the fantasy that there's still a chance. Be honest, what's the if-only story you've been telling yourself? Comment your bargaining thought. Example, if only I had been less emotional. Or if only I had given him more space. Or if only I had been more like his ex. Or if only I hadn't brought up the future. Let's expose these lies together so we can stop believing them. Here's what I need you to understand. You could have been perfect, and he still would have been wrong for you. Because the issue wasn't you. The issue was him and his inability to show up the way you needed. You could have bound Burdino by, you could have married him to leave her right. Always looked perfect, been endlessly accommodating, ignored every red flag, suppressed every need, and he still would have disappointed you. because he was incapable of meeting you where you needed to be met. The right person doesn't require you to be perfect. The right person doesn't need you to shrink yourself to fit their limitations. The right person doesn't make you feel like you have to bargain your way into their love. And here's where bargaining becomes truly dangerous. It keeps you stuck in rumination instead of grief. As long as you're fixated on what could I have done differently, you're not actually processing the loss. You're just cycling through the same mental loops over and over, torturing yourself with hypotheticals. And you can stay in that loop for months, even years. I've had clients who are 5 years past a breakup still bargaining. But if I had just, and that's not healing. That's self-punishment disguised as reflection. So how do you move through bargaining? You stop arguing with reality. Byron Katie's quote again. When we argue with reality, we suffer, but only 100% of the time. The reality is, it's over. He made choices. You made choices. And the relationship didn't work. No amount of if only will change what happened. The only thing bargaining does is keep you from accepting what is so you can start building what's next. So when you catch yourself bargaining, I want you to say out loud, I could have been different, and we still wouldn't have worked, because he was wrong for me, and that's not my fault. But even when you start to accept that the bargaining is a trap, even when you know intellectually that it wasn't your fault, there's still another stage waiting for you, the one that feels like you'll never be okay again.
Stage 4, depression. This is the stage where you wonder how you're going to make it through the day. Hell, you wonder how you're going to make it through the next hour. This is the stage where pulling the covers off feels impossible, so you don't. You just stay in bed. Depression and heartbreak looks like this. You don't have the energy to pretend you're okay anymore. You stop responding to texts. You cancel plans. You avoid social situations because putting on a face is exhausting. You oscillate between sleeping too much 16 hours a day, escaping into unconsciousness, or too little, lying awake at 4 a.m. with your mind spinning. You might stop eating, or you might eat everything. Your body doesn't know what to do with the grief, so your appetite goes haywire. Simple tasks feel monumental. Showering, that's a victory. Getting dressed, hero status. Leaving the house, you deserve a medal. And the crying, oh, the crying. Sometimes it's loud, heaving sobs. Sometimes it's just silent tears that won't stop. Sometimes you're not even sure what triggered it. You just looked at a coffee cup and suddenly you're on the floor. And here's what depression feels like. Heavy, like someone put a weighted blanket over your entire life and you can't get out from under it. You miss him. Not the him that actually existed. The him you wanted him to be. The him from the beginning before everything went wrong. You miss having a person. You miss the routine. You miss the future you imagined. And the depression whispers things like, you'll never find anyone else. You're going to be alone forever. Everyone else is in happy relationships and you're broken. This pain will never end. You wasted so much time on him. You're too damaged now for anyone else to love you. And even though you know these thoughts aren't true,
in the depression, they feel true.
Depression check. What's your current weather where you are? And if you're in the depression stage right now, how many days has it been since you felt genuinely okay? Comment your weather plus your status. Example, rainy in Portland. Haven't felt okay in 3 weeks. Or, sunny in LA, but I feel gray inside. Day 45 post-breakup. Or, snowing in NYC, just want to stay in bed forever. You're not alone in this darkness. Let's be in it together. Right? And here's the cruel part about the depression stage. This is when people start to lose patience with you. The first few weeks after the breakup, everyone was supportive. Oh honey, I'm so sorry. Take all the time you need. But now it's been 2 months, or 3, or 6. And people start saying, aren't you over him yet? You need to move on. Have you tried just not thinking about him? Maybe you should go on a date, that'll help. He wasn't even that great. Why are you still upset? And every single one of those comments makes you feel ropic for not being over it yet, broken for taking too long to heal, ashamed for still being sad, alone, because no one understands. So now you're not just depressed, you're depressed and isolated. And this is where it gets really dark. You start to feel ashamed of your own grief. You stop talking about it because you don't want to burden people. You pretend you're fine when you're not. You isolate because you're convinced everyone's tired of hearing about it. And isolation makes depression worse, because depression wants you alone. Depression wants you to believe you're the only one who's ever hurt this bad. Depression wants you to think you're broken and unfixable. And when you're alone with those thoughts, they get loud. But here's what I need you to know about depression. Depression is your heart insisting that you feel this loss. Your body is forcing you to slow down. to stop performing, to stop pretending. Depression is saying, no, we're not fine. No, we're not moving on yet. No, we're not going to just bounce back. And as much as depression sucks, and it does, it really fucking sucks. It's a necessary part of processing grief, because you can't just skip over the sadness. You can't just bypass the mourning. If you try to rush through it or stuff it down, it will come back later, louder, heavier. So depression, in its cruel way, is doing you a favor. It's making you stop running from the pain and actually sit in it. So if you're in the depression stage right now, you are not broken. You are not taking too long. You are not weak. You are grieving. And grief takes as long as it takes. Some people bounce back in weeks. Some people need months. Some people need a year or more. And none of that is wrong. Your timeline is your timeline. And anyone who's judging you for it has either A, never experienced heartbreak like this, or B, rushed through their own grief and never fully processed it. So they have no authority to tell you how long this should take. Give yourself permission to be in the depression, to feel it fully, to not be okay, because you won't be in the depression forever, even though it feels like you will. Because eventually, and I promise you, eventually, you'll have a moment, a brief fleeting moment where you feel okay, not healed, not fully better, but okay. And that moment, that's the beginning of the final stage.
Stage 5, acceptance. But before you get excited, let me tell you what acceptance is not. Acceptance is not, I'm completely over him and never think about him and feel nothing. Acceptance is not, I'm healed and happy and back to my old self. Acceptance is not a permanent destination you arrive at and stay forever. Acceptance is a moment, a pocket of peace, a glimpse of the other side. Here's what acceptance actually looks like. You wake up one morning and you don't immediately think about him. You make coffee, you check your phone, you start your day, and maybe an hour goes by before you remember, oh yeah, we're not together anymore. And it doesn't gut you, it's just a fact. You decide to give yourself a badass boss woman pep talk. Today I'm gonna live my life to the fullest. I'm not gonna let his leaving derail my happiness. And you mean it. In that moment, you genuinely mean it. You're not performing strength. You're not faking being okay. You actually are okay. Right now, in this moment. That's acceptance. Or maybe you see something that reminds you of him. A song, a restaurant, an inside joke. And instead of breaking down, you just smile sadly and keep going. You can acknowledge the memory without being destroyed by it. That's acceptance too. But here's where everyone gets it wrong. People think acceptance is the end of the journey. They think once I reach acceptance, I'm done. I'm healed. I'll never feel sad about this again. And then the next day, or next week, or next month, they wake up depressed again. And they panic. Wait, I thought I was over this. Why am I sad again? Did I regress? Did I undo all my progress? Am I back at square one? No. You didn't regress. You didn't undo anything. You just temporarily lost your grip on acceptance. And that's completely normal. Because here's the truth about acceptance. You will find it and lose it and find it again. Over and over. Monday, acceptance. I'm genuinely okay. Tuesday, depression. I miss him so much. Wednesday, anger. Actually, fuck him. Thursday, acceptance again. I'm good. I'm healing. Friday, bargaining. But what if I had? Saturday, acceptance. No, I'm done with that. And each time you touch acceptance, you stay there a little longer. At first, acceptance lasts 5 minutes, then an hour, then a whole morning, then a whole day. Eventually, you'll have more days in acceptance than not. Eventually, you'll go weeks without dropping into depression or anger. Eventually, acceptance becomes your baseline instead of your brief visit. But you don't get there by forcing it. You get there by cycling through all the stages, over and over, until gradually, so gradually you barely notice, the cycles get softer and further apart. If you've touched acceptance, even for a moment, what did it feel like? How long did it last? Comment your experience. Example, had a whole good weekend, then crashed Monday. Or felt okay for 10 minutes, then saw his Instagram. Or still waiting to feel even 1 second of acceptance. Or it lasted 3 days and I thought I was healed, lol. Let's normalize that acceptance comes and goes. Gorkate pisal be indolf. Who has to normalize? That acceptance comes and goes. Gorkate pisal be indolf. But crash gori, karada with his lashi karapai. So when you touch acceptance for a moment, and then find yourself depressed the next day, I need you to remember, that pocket of acceptance is proof. Proof that you can feel okay. Proof that healing is possible. Proof that you won't feel like this forever. You don't stay in acceptance yet, but you visited it. And if you can visit it once, you can visit it again. And each visit gets a little longer, a little easier, a little more stable. Until one day, and I can't tell you when that day will be, but it will come, you'll realize you've been in acceptance for a while. Not because you forced it. Not because you followed a timeline, but because you stopped arguing with reality. You stopped fighting the stages. You let yourself feel everything fully. and slowly, imperceptibly, your heart healed itself. So the question becomes, how do you actually move through these stages? Instead of getting trapped in them, how do you let yourself feel without drowning? How do you accept that healing isn't linear without giving up hope that you'll eventually be okay? Let's talk about that.
So let's come back to where we started. Why does healing from Mr. Wrong feel like the world's most exhausting roller coaster? Because it's not a straight line from broken to healed. It's a messy, non-linear, up and down, forward and backward spiral through denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. And you'll touch each stage multiple times, sometimes in the same day. And that doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. That means you're doing it human. So here's your permission. You're allowed to be in denial sometimes. You're allowed to be angry. You're allowed to bargain with the past. You're allowed to be depressed. And you're allowed to lose your grip on acceptance and find it again. None of that means you're failing. It means you're grieving. And grief is not a project you complete. It's a process you move through. The goal is not to get through the stages as fast as possible. The goal is to stop fighting them, to let them move through you, to trust that each stage is teaching you something you need to learn. And I promise you, even though it doesn't feel like it right now, you will reach a place where acceptance is your baseline, where you wake up and you're just okay, not performing okay, actually okay, where you can think about him without it gutting you, where you can see him on social media and feel nothing, where you realize you haven't thought about him in days, then weeks, where you meet someone new, and you're genuinely available for them because you're not still holding on to him. That day is coming. I promise you. But you can't rush it. You can only stop resisting it. If this video helped you make sense of the chaos you're feeling, share it with someone who's in the thick of it. And if you want more content on healing from heartbreak, understanding the stages of grief, and learning to trust yourself again, subscribe and hit the bell. We're building a community of women who know that healing isn't linear, and that's okay. I'll see you in the next one. And hey, wherever you are in the stages right now, you're exactly where you need to be. Keep showing up, keep feeling, keep trusting the process. You're going to be okay. Not today, but someday. And that someday is closer than you think.